We're here at City Council chambers tonight for a candidate forum, the 5 City Council candidates sponsored by KHTS and the Signal. Second question from the chamber, do you support a new civic center? We'll start with candidate Troutman.
That's a big absolutely. You know, we have 178 staff members from our sheriff's department. They're operating out of a building that was put together for a population of 70,000 people. I think that could be a really dynamic location. We certainly owe it to them to expand so that they can better do their job. We need to give them that support. We certainly need to upgrade the library, and if we can make that a wonderful interactive property with the mall property, which is what we're talking about here, revitalizing that area, I think that would be excellent. You know, I also have in mind sort of a cultural arts civic center for also Whitaker-Burmite property. I have great hopes for that. But for now, this is a great opportunity for us to work with the county to get that done, and I know we're moving forward on that. And you know, in addition to that, the sheriff's department needs a substation out in Canyon Country, so I'd like to see that as part of that planning.
Okay, thank you very much. Candidate Loriander, do you support a new civic center?
Definitely. We have completely outgrown these facilities. Currently, some of the Parks and Rec staff is packing up and getting ready to move their offices out to the activity center, where we've had to displace some people in order to make room for our growing staff. But as the community grows, the needs in this building have grown. And Diane mentioned the sheriff's department, and their building has never grown as they have grown. And so we definitely need to expand all the way around. And the exciting thing about that is to be able to do it from this point, instead of trying to retrofit the building for our needs. One of the big things is trying to create a one-stop shopping for planning, and a place where you're coming in to get permits and fire and everything that you need in one spot. Well, we're trying to retrofit this building for that. But by opening a new facility and moving that, I think we'll be much better able to serve the public. City staff is just this crazy dedicated bunch of people who put in so much time, and in a lot of departments, if you walk through there, really it's kind of sharing some desks and piled on top of one another, and I think it's time to look at something that really accommodates the growing community.
Good. Thank you very much. Candidate Gutzai, do you support a new civic center?
Absolutely, and I'd put a little more spin on this one also. This is another example of moving forward. Years ago, we had a visioning process out here about a new civic center that would go near the intersection of Bouquet and Soledad. The community was called together. What do you want? What's it going to look like? Much fanfare. They came up with a design. Money was spent. Land was bought, and it didn't happen. And now, again, we're going through this. Everybody's getting excited. We need to move forward when we have plans for these things. We desperately need it. You know, everyone knows that the sheriffs are in very cramped quarters. You can hardly get through the hallway over there. We need to keep moving our projects forward. It only drives up the cost. Another good point about this is it's a great example of a city-county partnership. I know there's been meetings with the city staff, with the county people. We all know that that's a thriving part of town, and we want it to be done right, and I'm glad that everyone's working together.
Great, thank you. Candidate Bob Keller, you support a new civic center?
You bet, absolutely. I think this is one of the most exciting things going on right now. And I mentioned earlier about my having an opportunity to visit with Supervisor Antonovich. It was the first thing on my list, was talking about the civic center. And the reason being, and this is a time, folks, because Newhall Land's building, now L&R owns it. They are planning some changes and perhaps selling off and doing some things there. This will be a partnership between the private sector, huge. We'll have a partnership with the county. We've got the sheriff's facilities that are woefully inadequate to serve this community. That alone, what we're doing to our law enforcement, having to work in that facility that is so antiquated. And if you've been over to the courthouse, and I know nobody in this room has been to the courthouse, however, I will tell you it is deficient. It is not up to the standards of this community. Now, the state is involved now. They own the courthouses. So we've got the state involved, the county involved, and of course the city of Santa Clarita involved, all coming together to sit down and see if we can't put together a program that we can get this thing mapped out and maybe in the next few years have a new civic center, one that really makes sense and one that's going to serve this entire region. And I think even more exciting, along with our city manager, Ken Polskamp, a couple of weeks ago, we visited Steve Cooley, our district attorney. Steve was a wealth of information and encouragement on this endeavor, and he says, you know what, let's throw in something else. Let's throw in a new judicial district. And folks, if nothing else, when you find yourself having to do jury duty, guess what? You won't have to go to the San Fernando Valley. We'll have our own district. How's that? But this is important, and we need to do this for our citizens. We need to do it for our sheriffs, and we need to operate more efficiently. So you bet. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Keller. Candidate Spear, do you support a new city center?
I absolutely do. And again, the hazards of following Bob Keller. Look, Bob, judicial district, written right there. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. As the captain of the station out here from 1988 to 1992, I can tell you that at that time, the building was woefully inadequate. The station wasn't, at that time, prepared to meet the needs of the community. And certainly, the community has grown, the station has grown in size. And when I say that, I mean the personnel, not the physical structure. So it's woefully inadequate. The library is too small. The courts, we had a municipal court out here, and we didn't have the Superior Court. Everybody had to leave, go to Superior Court. Then they were merged. So now we have a consolidated court, but we don't have any more courtroom space. I agree. I had also heard from Steve Cooley about the idea of creating a judicial district. An outstanding idea, but we're going to need more space for that. Now, the state controls that to a large extent, but we can certainly make the space available. We can work on it. Again, a tremendous collaborative effort. I see great potential for this, and we need to do it now while the opportunity is there. We need to do it while the land is available. When I was out here as the captain, we were looking at the site that Maria was talking about, which was the Whitaker-Burmite site. Plans were drawn. We had plans for a new station as well. We know what happened at the Whitaker-Burmite site. Now we have an opportunity on land where we don't have those same issues, where people are familiar with traveling to, and provides an excellent opportunity. We also need to look at providing satellite facilities to our other areas of the city so that no one is really underserved. But I think we need the larger civic center now.
Great. Thank you, candidates.